Gelorum, the main antagonist of the series. She can be considered the end boss of AcceleRacers, and yet it seemed as though she wasn't that smart, when in fact she orchestrated and manipulated all of our drivers. Gelorum is never given enough credit for her own intellect. This video essay will explain her master plan. Although her plan of taking over the AcceleRacers may not seem that deep, it indeed is. One question we need to answer is, how did she get the location of the AcceleRacers? First off, the only thing I find weird is that Gelorum goes out of her way to capture Kadeem. We know from her inferiority complex and hate for the humans that she would kill them on sight, and yet she fully transforms Kadeem for no apparent reason. Gelorum was definitely trying to get the location of the AcceleRacers, and this could have been through capturing Kadeem, but because Kadeem is so self-righteous, I definitely know his willpower would not allow him to reveal the location, which is why Kadeem is fully transformed into a cyborg by Gelorum. Just think about it. When people are going to torture you, they want something, such as a ransom. If you don't give them what they want, they'll either keep you alive to get more, or finish off their torture. Since Kadeem didn't give Gelorum what she wanted, he was fully transformed, i.e. he didn't give the ransom and therefore punishment was enacted on him. And then we have Wild. Now I don't think he gave the location of the AcceleRacers because
your situation is completely hopeless unless you tell me the location of the AcceleRacers.
You know, the first thing I learned in prison: never tell anybody anything.
if there's anyone stronger than a self-righteous, humble Kadeem, it's a person who's been through the worst. Through prison, through betrayal, through everything. If one person would not break, it would be Wild. Now because of this, I don't think Wild gave the location of the AcceleRacers to Gelorum, but as I was searching for the answers in the movies, I couldn't find anything on what gave the location of the AcceleRacers, until I realized, what if it's not in the movies? What if she got the location of the AcceleRacers from the bonus content from the other realms? And that's when I found my answer, because of this.
Can you hear me?
Tesla! No! Get the transmitter! Where's the drone? How come you've got a car and I don't?
Gelorum had clearly ordered the drone to come through the portal with Vert. A drone acting individually like that is out of the question, since they always follow Gelorum's orders, which means Gelorum ordered that drone to take a ride on Vert's car to get the location of the AcceleRacers. Gelorum was smart enough to know that our drivers had their own portal and therefore their own base, which means sending a drone in could give the location of their enemy. Obviously, this was one badass scene from Wild, but we know that this drone sent the location to Gelorum, because as Dr. Tesla said, it was a transmitter. Transmitters send information to their specified objective, so we know that she has the location of the AcceleRacers before the Junk Realm, so then why did she take Wild? It's because Gelorum's #1 priority is to get to the AcceleRacers. This means she needs all the AcceleCharges to activate the ultimate race. She needs the AcceleCharges in the AcceleRacers simply because she doesn't have them. She took Wild because she knew, #1, that the drivers would figure out how to get to her headquarters because of Taro and Maneuver 7. 2, that they weren't coming after the Kadeem, because if they were going to, they would have already, and therefore she needed a new bait to get the drivers out of the AcceleRacers. 3, the Cosmic Realm was the last realm, and if the drivers were going to save Wild, they would do it in the last realm because that's their only chance to get him. 4, because the drivers were going to the drone's headquarters, nearly all of them would go to save Wild, meaning that the AcceleRacers literally had no drivers to defend it. Now how do we know this? Because
The sweeper has returned, under control of the humans.
They are not to make it back through the portal. But even if they do, there will be nothing for them to return to.
It's almost as if she expected the drivers to go and save Wild. Wild was a bait so she could get the AcceleCharges from the AcceleDrome without a hassle. Wild was the bait since they never went after Kadeem, and because she already has the location of the AcceleDrome from the drone that came with Vert. She probably interrogated Wild for the location to confirm it, or so that the drivers didn't rush back and take control over the AcceleDrome. However, one thing she didn't account for in her master plan is her own actions. The drones did everything perfectly, from capturing the drivers, finding the location of the AcceleDromes, and following her orders. But the one thing she didn't account for was the failure in herself. That her racing was going to be her downfall. That she herself was the fault in her plan. That she thought that winning was the only way to reach the Accelerons, to be accepted by the Accelerons. How ironic is that? The one fault in Gelorum's master plan is because of her own arrogance. She even had backup plans to destroy the AcceleDrome, even having Kadeem to control the drones at the drone's HQ. The one who created an impenetrable plan was the same person, the same robot, that caused her own undoing. And that is Gelorum's master plan.